Eddie, let me go to you. Many
Yeah,
people, especially, obviously with your life, how difficult it is to deal with life-changing events, and something that we're seeing right now for other people is and entire institutions of communities is that they're experiencing a cluster collective changing event.
yeah,
Everything is changing. You absolutely have dedicated yourself to these social progressions.
yes.
Share your insight. What happens, when people now are essentially waking up and these institutions, they're asking, how do we reinvent ourselves and how do we pursue progress?
Well, what I'm seeing now in terms of social change is
Mhm.
not dissimilar from what I felt in 1968 and the social changes that we were hopeful that we could finally make those changes after Martin Luther King's death, after Kennedy's death, after Robert Kennedy's death. So I think the major thing is that unity is one thing, but how hard that is to be able to prioritize our actions so that we know it isn't just our empathy and our hearts and our minds, but what are the activities that we can do together to make the right changes? And it also has to do with who are our leaders and how do we select our leaders based on who is going to have more influence, more impact. And that goes for leadership in our businesses, as well as in our politics, as well as in our lives. I think we started the organization, the Women's Business Development Center, we were the first really to even look at women's business ownership and the impact that could have on families, on women's lives, and on our economy. And no one took it very seriously. But, we were tenacious and persistent, and we believed we had to prioritize what we were doing to be able to create social change. The organization has gone through major transitions, and that, it's gone from a very small organization to a very large organization that now has enormous impact on issues like access to capital for women and minority owned businesses. And that is in collaboration with good leaders who care enough, like our governor, our Cook County president, and our mayor, to make it work and to collaborate. That was the other thing, is, as I was saying earlier, we must collaborate. We must find ways of working together with organizations, not always with the same agenda, but who have a common agenda for social change and for equality and for social justice. And
Eddie,
that's
you,
hard
yeah.
because people don't like to work together very well. But
Well,
on a personal level, for
mhm.
me, it's a cliche. I mean, it's make every day significant and important and be grateful for every day. And as I went through the illness and death of my beloved husband, it was not every day, it was every moment, to make every moment count and to consider the impact of it and to be understanding of what gratitude really means.
Eddie, there's something very powerful there, and that speaks to why you're so driven and why you have so much energy, and
And I'm
everybody
old too,
has
Susan.
no, everybody has this notion that their life is a life of service. Let's agree. I mean, we all have that, but the way that
I don't think
manifests in
everyone
you.
does.
Well, but here's the thing.
They
You
do.
really care about this notion of legacy. You really care about how am I leaving the world um, when I'm not participating in it, and having that sense of responsibility as being the fuel of what gets you up in the morning to actually kind of do something about what you're supposed to do, or you think you want to do, or you want to do, however you want to frame it, right? I think that's very powerful. So I sincerely applaud that energy that you have, and that you're the embodiment of living a life of service, but acting on that, not just
Thank
thinking
you.
about it. So that's
I used to wake up every morning and say, okay, here I am. Now it's time to change the world. That's all